Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know why I sang that a little bit there, but welcome to the first episode and ever of the Fantasy Cave podcast. This is a normal thing sorry, I just got out of the shower, so this is a thing that me and my friend Funk is going to do every week or so, but the first 2 weeks is just going to be me because he is going to be on vacation. So, lucky boy, him. But he is going to be on vacation, so you have to deal with just me. So, what we're doing is this is a little podcast that we decided to put together for our league. Shout out to the Hellfire Club Fantasy Football League. You guys are awesome. Love every single one of you guys and girls. And we are going to basically go over this week's matchups in our league. Also, go over who I think is going to win. We could go over a little bit what happened last week as well, and then also go over the matchups, pick winners, and also who we like, and then do starts of the week as well, and go from there. But ladies and gentlemen, I hope you all enjoy this. I hope you really do. If you do, this is going to go up on my YouTube channel. Obviously, the Batbran. I post a lot of gaming stuff on there, but just to get this out there for now, this is going to be what goes on for now. But let's jump right in, and I will pause, and we will go into the league. All right, let me pull up my face here. Hi, how's it going? I'm still getting used to all this, so bear with me here. So, first things first, we got my team here, by the way. The Book of Mormon, which is just perfect. We're going to go over all the teams. Obviously, this is basically the lineup I'm going for. So, basically, I do want to say those of you that do have DeAndre Swift questionable, he's going to be fine. He's going to play. He even told reporters, I'm playing. It's not that big of an issue. He played with the sore ankle last week and was fine and put up like 174 total yards. He's fine. Michael Pittman, on the other hand, is a problem. It's a quad injury. He's questionable. I hope he plays. If he doesn't, you could be like me and have really good pivot options in Jalen Waddle and Brandon Cooks. But if you don't, I had some help with Chris Godwin being out for the week, so I have that little backup. But if you have Pittman out, it's going to be a tough week. It really, really is, because Pittman is top 10 receiver right now. He's really, really good. Moving on to let's go to the last week's matchups here and talk about them real quick. The first matchup was me and designated drinkers. If you want me to say your real names, let me know. It's completely fine if you don't want me to say your real names. In this matchup, it was close. It was really close, because as it started out in the week, I had to deal with Josh Allen and Stephon Diggs putting up like a 60 burger on me. But then Patrick Mahomes comes out and throws 44, then gives me 44 points, which is awesome. And by the way, this is a full point PPR league, so if you are seeing 27 points for Michael Pittman, that's probably why. So, DeAndre Swift and Pittman, those were the two guys that really did good for me. And DK Metcalf and Josh Jacobs really let down my opponent. Jacobs, going forward, is going to be a problem playing every week, because I don't know what it is with McDaniels, but he threw in Amir Abdullah, he threw in Zamir White, he threw in all these other running backs, and it's going to be almost like the New England Patriots back in the day, where that's basically how they ran. They ran a running back by committee, and Jacobs is their best running back. So really, they need to let him play his brand of football. But they did play a Chargers team It's very difficult to play against. They play the Cardinals next week. Probably way different. For me, Eckler was really bad. He did redeem himself in week 2 a little bit. Still looking to shop him to see what I can get out of him. To see if I actually got a trade offer in the league from someone in our chat who was Mixon for Eckler straight up. That's a great trade, which if you're watching this, I am out there. It is something that I will be looking at in the weeks to come, so that is on the table. Knox was a huge disappointment for me because they used him a lot blocking in that game in the opener, which was very frustrating. But so when it came time to just get a different tight end, I had Everett on the waiver wire. I was like, let's pick him up, use him for a week. And then if Knox is, still there, and if he performs well, great. But if he doesn't, I'll just stick with streaming the position from now on. Because honestly, in fantasy, if you don't have the top 3 or 4 tight ends, you're going to struggle. You're going to really struggle with getting consistency out of a tight end position. 2 guys who did surprisingly well was Waddle, but he wasn't that great to start. If he didn't have that touchdown late, it really wouldn't have helped him. And then Christian Kirk, who was really good as well, because Kirk got, I believe, 11 targets in that game. He had, a lot of targets. Let me just load him up here. Yeah, he had 12 targets and 6 catches. That's wide receiver 1 production from Christian Kirk. And they play the Colts next week, which is more of a difficult matchup when it comes to... but they're going to be down, I'm sure. So I feel like Kirk is still a start. Kirk is definitely still a start for me. But let's go ahead and go over to a different matchup with Nate's team against... Oh, no, it's Debo. Again, this game was very interesting to start out because it looked like he got it. It looked like Clinton did have it for a good while. But then it turned around to you can't get a lot of production when you're getting 12 points from Debo, which that wasn't granted. That's not his fault. Debo, they're played in a rainstorm. That's a very difficult game to play in. I watched that game. It was not easy to play in. Clyde Edwards-Helaire putting up 22 points. That was a huge thing. And then Jamar Chase almost had 3 touchdowns in this game. Should have had 3 touchdowns in that game. So, if it was Chase, Herbert, and Clyde, that was the big deciding factor there. And when you're only getting production from, Lamar and Mike Evans, Derrick Henry was actually a little down, which was surprising. You're playing the Giants. You should have been able to get the ball more than what they did, but it is what it is. Breece Hall, if they would give him the ball more, but Michael Carter's the starter for some reason. And week ones are week ones. You can't really throw that out there. And that was a very difficult matchup. Going over to I'm going to finish last and exclamation point. So he changed his name because he was winning by a good margin, and then out of nowhere, Justin Jefferson decided to put up 39 points and decided to throw up that point number. But he still ended up winning. Shout out to him. Fantastic game here. Russell Wilson kind of, if he would have did more, I feel like he could have won this game because it was close. He didn't really have anybody to match with that. Getting 26 points for Pittsburgh's defense. I think it's because they had a pick return for a touchdown. They had I think they had like 5 or 6 turnovers, if I'm thinking correctly. Oh, they had 7 sacks, 4 interceptions, a fumble recovery, and a touchdown and a block kick. Yeah, that'll do it. That'll 100% do it. And then Cincinnati's defense against Pittsburgh. I mean, you could do better options, but I mean, again, there's not a lot of defenses, and Cincinnati's defense can be really good this week playing the Cowboys, which we got a couple Cowboys fans in our league, and I gotta say, it's not looking good. It's not looking good for your team, especially the fact that you got to go and play Cincinnati next week. But I will say, though, like, Travis Kelce, say what you will about Patrick Mahomes. Oh, he lost all these players. He does not give a care. He does not care. He was so good. And even on Thursday night, he was pretty decent as well. He just made a couple weird throws here and there. But what killed, I'm going to finish last, is Cam Akers. 3 opportunities. 3 opportunities, 0 yards. Like, I'm not dropping Cam Akers yet, but if Darrell Henderson is getting all the carries, I don't understand what they're doing. But the next game, they need to give Cam Akers the ball more. They need to let him do his brand of football. And I understand they're worried about the Achilles. They're worried about all this stuff. But you brought him in for the playoffs last year and played him way too much in the playoffs. So I don't understand what their logic is there. So that doesn't make any sense. But I will say Jefferson, Mixon, those are 2 players there going to be fantastic. Yeah, I'm going to finish lost this one, but he's got a very good thing to build upon here. It's just the running backs. They're splitting time. Like Etienne, splitting time. Akers, splitting time. And, like, that's terrible. You're better off. Like, the player of this caliber, this player here, is better off playing Kareem Hunt because in a PPR league, Kareem Hunt is getting targets. He was used a lot, even with Chubb on the field. There was times that both him and Hunt were out together, and that's very good for fantasy. I would honestly take Akers off, let him sit on your bench, and if he does good on your bench, great. Then you have the confidence to start him every week. But I'd be better off just playing Kareem Hunt and, like, putting Etienne in your flex, because then you feel more confident. On the exclamation point side, Mike Williams was very disappointing. Now, he did make up for it in week 2, because I got a call from my friend Clinton. He told me all about how Mike Williams is killing him. Kyler Murray, he got 24 points in garbage time. He was not great. A.J. Brown was fantastic, though. As a wide receiver 1, I like those numbers. I love that. Christian McCaffrey, he was okay. For a guy you drafted in the top 3, like, that's why I'm upset with Eckler. For a guy you draft in the top 3, you should be getting 20 points consistently. You should be getting 20 points easily. 15 points should not be that difficult to get. And it looked very difficult for Christian McCaffrey to get those 15 points. It's still fine. I'm not going to judge everything on one game. Let's see how his next game goes. But just being a little cautious with McCaffrey, not getting a whole lot of... it's not like he's not getting the volume. He's getting the volume. He saved himself later. But it was just a tough game against Cleveland. Zeke, my God. Like, all of the Dallas Cowboy players, I'm dropping down. Like, I'm not dropping them, but they're lowering in my rankings and lowering down in my expectation to start them because no Dak. And teams are going to say, we want Cooper Rush to beat us. So they're going to literally do everything in their power to stop Zeke and Tony Pollard and force Cooper Rush to throw the football to Simi Fahuku? I don't even know who these players are. They need Michael Gallup back. It's just as a second target. Because Jalen Tolbert isn't doing anything yet. Dalton Schultz is probably the most likely to perform well in this offense without Dak, because Cooper's going to have to dump the ball off a lot, and it's just going to be a lot of short stuff to Dalton Schultz. So I feel he could be the one that benefits the most from it. Tony Pollard could as well, but they are going to do everything in their power to stop the run game now. Every team is going to do that now. And CD, he didn't look good at all. Even with Dak in that game, they didn't look that good. Now, they did play Tampa. Tampa's a very good defense. I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt, but you play Cincinnati this week? That doesn't look too... And they're going to be mad because they lost a game that they shouldn't have lost. Kelsey, again, Kelsey's the tight end one. There's not too much to say about that. We're going to move on to the Hellraisers and the Cack Attack, which the champion from last year was Cack Attack. Cack Attack's my boy Funk. So he was winning, and then Devontae Adams, Jerry Jeudy, and Joe Burrow decided to put out good number, over 20 points each. And when you have a team like Cack Attack did, where you only had Cooper Kupp and Jalen Hurts put more than 20 points on the board, yeah, and Saquon Barkley, that was very shocking to see Barkley throw up a 33-point day. I feel like he's back. I just need to see a little more, because I guarantee he's going to get injured at some point, and when that happens, you're looking at a guy that you're just like, oh, I'm holding the bag here. But as he's healthy, he looks back. He looks 100% back. They're giving him the targets. They're giving him the stuff to run. Brian Dable, being the head coach there, they made the right decision. Put the offense through Saquon Barkley. Do not let Daniel Jones throw this football. And it works. It works 100%. And I will say on the Hellraiser side, the running backs really let him down, because Najee did get hurt in this game. So it wasn't all Najee's fault. He is fine. He'll be back next week. But just tight ends, as I said, tight ends are terrible unless you have the top 3 or 4. They're so non-consistent. They are not. They do not give good point totals normally. It's very, very sad in the tight end realm if you don't have the top 3. And then Cars Against Humanity, which I love the name. I play her this week. And then CDC Guidelines. This was the biggest crush of the week. I will say that. But it wasn't all CDC's Guidelines' fault. The reason why that happened, Dak didn't play good all game. CeeDee Lamb didn't play good. Keenan got hurt. Jonathan Taylor and Jamal Williams were great, Javonte were great. Noah Fant did nothing. Devin Singletary, they just stopped giving him the ball. And he was their best player on offense, running the ball. And then you have to deal with Derek Carr putting up 20 points. Tyreek Hill was good. Juju put up good numbers. The one I'm concerned with is Alvin Kamara. They really didn't use him a lot in the game, and he's dealing with an injury now. He's questionable going into week 2. If he doesn't play, that's not great. That's really not great considering... Darrell Henderson could probably go in there, which is a great pivot option. And when you have a guy like James Conner, that's fantastic. But Kamara, Jameis didn't really target him a lot either. If you go to the game log here, he targeted him 4 times. That's not Kamara. That's not what you normally see from him. and only 9 rush attempts. That's not Alvin Kamara at all. And he's dealing with the rib injury. It's really, he can still play with that. I feel like you're still happy with Kamara, but he's not giving you the same consistency that he did before, which is very sad to see. Moving on to week 2. I try not to make this as long of an episode as possible because I want to try and end it at like an hour each week. We got the Hellraisers versus Nate's team. I will say that this looks like it's going to be a very close week, especially with Herbert and Clyde giving him good point totals. This is a toss-up. I mean, I know I'm supposed to choose a winner here, but this is tough. I mean, I will say that I'll probably go Nate's side because he's ahead of me, and actually, no. Is he in my division? Yes, he is. So, oh, no, he's not. No, he's not. So, really, that doesn't really affect me. Looking at the matchups here, you have Joe Burrow, who's going to throw the football to Chase. So, that point totals will, every time he throws to Chase, those point totals will basically even out. You have Thielen. I mean, Thielen playing against Philly. They were very good against receivers last year. Amon-Ra destroyed them for Detroit last week. So I feel like Thielen is still a start. Devontae Adams is a must start. Jerry Jeudy is a must start. They're playing Houston. Leonard Fournette, he is questionable going into this game. Let's take a closer look at him. It's a hamstring. That's not great. Now, he's practicing. He is practicing on the hamstring, so that should be good. And he will get volume, so I'm okay playing him there. And, like, if you have the dump truck, you have to play him. So, yeah, that's a tough decision, but you have to play Leonard Fournette. You have to. You don't have much any other pivot options. And Amon-Ra, the sun god, the winged dragon of Ra, I really do love him this week against Washington. I really, really do. So, going in here and just seeing if I'm seeing any... The defenses may actually be a big difference maker because Buffalo playing Tennessee, that's looking quite interesting. If Najee comes back against New England, he could just throw in Najee to take Leonard Fournette out. This is a very strong team. I think if he throws in Najee and starts Najee, I think that the Hellraisers may have that. I think I'm going to choose them to win that. Then we got Designated Drinkers versus I'm going to finish last. Well, I don't think they're going to finish last, but I will tell you right now, because I had to go up against this last week, the stack of Josh Allen, Stephon Diggs is a problem. I'm in another league where I have the Josh Allen and Stephon Diggs stack. I still almost lost, but that matchup, that target, just the best combination in football, it's a problem. It's an actual problem to go up against. But you got Jefferson, you got Mixon, and if Stafford bounces back and actually puts up good numbers, you're happy with that. And Seattle and San Francisco's playing in the rain again. Another rain game. Will DK suck again? I really don't know there. So Kareem Hunt is a definite must start. I love that start of Kareem Hunt. Dalton Schultz against Cincy. I feel like he could do well against Cincinnati because he's going to be the only guy that's going to do anything. I said about that earlier. Looking here, the defense is a huge difference maker. I hate to do it. I really hate to do it. But I'm going to take the upset. I'm gonna finish last to win this game, on the back of Jefferson, Mixon, and Kareem Hunt. It's just the Diggs Allen stack is gonna be a problem. It 100% is gonna be a problem. Then, oh yeah, my matchup. Probably getting to that. The Book of Mormon, me versus Cars Against Humanity. I had an amazing start by Gerald Everett, and Eckler did save himself, and Mahomes only giving me 21 points. I mean, I can live with it. Going up against Derek Carr that goes up against Arizona, that's a very tough matchup. Cortland Sutton must start. I need Michael Pittman to start. If Michael Pittman doesn't start, I can just go to Brandon Cooks. I could do Waddle, but he's not getting the volume, and I need to see more volume. He only got targeted 5 times and caught 4 passes. Now, granted, one of them was a touchdown, and it is Baltimore, and they already have injuries to their secondary, so I could play him. It just really comes down to Brandon Cooks getting the volume, because they're going to be down, and every game he gets volume, or playing Jalen Waddle for the touchdown upside. And I'm most likely going to play him for the not the touchdown upside. I'm probably going to play Brandon Cooks, because the volume, they're going to be down, and Brandon Cooks is going to catch passes. And this is a PPR league. A.J. Dillon is going to be a problem, obviously, against my Chicago Bears. It's always a problem. If DeAndre Swift plays, I'm playing him, obviously. Darrell Henderson Jr. is going to be a problem against Atlanta. But then here's the big X factor in this matchup. It's Gabe Davis versus James Conner. God, I can't say your name today. Versus James Conner. That's going to be the big matchup that is going to be looked at, because how good is Vegas against the run? How good are they going to be? Eckler didn't really do much against them, but they were playing 3 different running backs, which is a very stupid move on their part. And Gabe Davis, after what he did last week, I have to play him in my flex every week from now on. I have to. The defenses may be a big factor as well. Denver and the Los Angeles Rams. That's going to be tough. I mean, I am up 48 points. Obviously, I got to go with me in that matchup, right? I mean, crud. It's me. Why would I not go with me? And I think we got 2 more matchups to cover. Exclamation point versus, oh no, it's Debo. 35 points starting out. Kelsey only giving 10 points is really, really bad. That sucks a lot. The Jeff Wilson Jr. Start could pan out very well. Derrick Henry just needs to give Clint more points. He has to. He has to. And it's going to be very tough against Buffalo's defense. It's going to be very difficult against Buffalo's defense. Looking at them, quarterbacks are very even. A.J. Brown is going to put up another good game, I feel. Debo, of course. It just comes down to how Trey Lance plays. And the defenses, Pittsburgh actually has a little bit of an advantage against Tampa's defense. I feel like here, just because Christian McCaffrey and the matchups, I'm going with exclamation point there. And then last but not least, CDC guidelines versus the CAC attack. I think CAC attack's going to bounce back here. I really, really do, especially with oh wow, the team is completely different now. Yeah, wow. Tyler Higbee, Devin Singletary, yeah, this is just too much firepower to deal with, especially if T. Higgins plays. I know Aaron Rodgers is there and everything, but losing Dak and CD not being as valuable with no Dak, it's going to be a problem. Now, Jonathan Taylor Javonte could save CDC. Really could. But, yeah, if these guys bounce back, Aaron Jones, I think, is going to bounce back big time. Cooper Kupp and Jalen Hurts, I got to give it to my boy Funk. I have to. I just have to. But we're going to move into the matchups and get into their starts in each matchup. Okay, here we are in the matchups. We're going to go over my Chicago Bears and the Green Bay Packers first. In this game, I do feel Green Bay bounces back. I'm sorry, my team. I know. I'm very sorry of what I'm going against you. I mean, I'm a very terrible Chicago Bears fan, I know. But it's Green Bay. It's Green Bay. Aaron Rodgers has owned us for years. We're not playing in the rain this time, in a monsoon, and having that luck for us this time. We're just not. It's not going to happen. Green Bay. Who am I going to play on the Green Bay side? Aaron Rodgers, obviously, he owns Chicago. He always says he owns Chicago. We haven't been able to beat Aaron Rodgers for the last 3 years. So that's... And Justin Fields is actually a sneaky start as well. If you're looking for a streamer, like say if you lost Dak and you need a quarterback to start, Justin Fields is your guy. The running backs... Okay, sorry about that. I had to pause real quick. On the running back side for Chicago, I can't start either. Khalil Herbert is an interesting, sneaky guy. He's just getting used a whole lot more. And it's sad because I love Monty Moe. I love Montgomery. I love David Montgomery. But for some reason, they're splitting him with Herbert and more. And he looked good. He looked really good. I mean, in a rainstorm like that, but I think like 100% they're going to be down and Justin Fields is going to have to throw the football. And Green Bay is going to win this game. I'm sorry. On the Green Bay side, Allen Lazard may be back. He's questionable. If he is back, I feel like he's able to be started. If not, I'm not starting any of their wideouts, obviously. The only ones I'm willing to start is Aaron Jones. He's going to bounce back big this week. A.J. Dillon, because he got volume and he is being used very well, both him and Aaron Jones. And Robert Tonyan, if you're desperate for a tight end start. Because all their receivers suck. And they really missed Devontae Adams. They need a number one target. And Aaron Rodgers is going to look at his best target on the field, which is Aaron Jones, A.J. Dillon, and Robert Tonyan. That's pretty much it. Moving on to... Let's get into the Bengals-Cowboys. Let's get into Bengals-Cowboys. Bengals are winning this game. There's no way the Cowboys, with no Dak and a destroyed offensive line, is going to win this game. Not a chance. There's just no way. And Cincinnati, even when they sucked and Burrow threw 4 picks and they had a fumble, they still almost beat the Steelers. Took it overtime, everything. That's how good this offense for Cincinnati is. And Cincinnati's defense ain't nothing to shake at either. So they're going to have a field day. Stubby Awuzie coming back home to where he got drafted from Dallas. He is going to have a field day against these receivers. He's going to be matched up on CD. And they have a pretty good secondary. And I don't think Cooper Rush could be able to throw the football, man. I really don't. I'm just going to say right now, I'm not starting anybody on the Dallas side except for Dalton Schultz. That's it. Simply put, not starting anyone else except that. Zeke, you kind of have to start him because he's Zeke. He has a chance to fall in the end zone. But let's be honest. You really think he's going to get in the end zone this week? You really think he's going to do that? He ran really good. He looked really good in game 1, and they just stopped letting him run the football. It made no sense. Starting Joe Burrow, by the way. Joe Burrow is a definite start. Joe Mixon is a start. Jamar Chase is a start. Hayden Hurst is actually a guy, if you need a tight end, he's a guy I'm willing to pick up in case of emergency as well, because he had good volume. He had 5 catches last week. And T. Higgins. If T. Higgins plays, I think at this moment in time he's questionable. If T. Higgins plays, you're playing T. Higgins. That's pretty much all I got to say about that matchup. Jets and Browns. Jets and Browns are next. The Jets don't stand a chance here either, but I do see a chance they could upset them if things fall in the right direction, but they're not going to be able to do much against this defense for Cleveland. I'm not playing either quarterback, obviously. That ain't happening. The running game, Michael Carter looked decent. Michael Carter did look really good. He is a guy who if you're in desperation for a running back, I'm willing to start. Breece Hall, I don't want to start him. I don't. Breece, I want to see more from Breece. I want to see them use him more. I want to see Breece Lightning do something. And they used him, but the volume, until he overtakes Michael Carter and gets running back 1 status, I'm not starting him. I can't. I need to see touchdowns. I need to just see more volume. You're starting both Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt, obviously. You're doing that. The receivers, you can do a long shot on Donovan Peoples-Jones. I mean, he got targeted 12 times last week and caught 6 passes. But I'm not starting anybody. That includes Amari Cooper. That includes David Njoku. Not starting any of them. The receivers for the Jets, I mean, not starting any of them either. And Garrett Wilson he's a guy I'm willing to stash still. And wait and see. Because the rookie receivers, they always come out later. Elijah Moore is the only guy I'm really willing to look at just because he was targeted a good bit, and I feel like he's the only Jet that's even worthy of starting going forward. But yeah, Browns are winning that. Commanders, the Manders, and the Lions. Wentz looked really good last week, by the way. Surprisingly, when you face a crappy team, you look actually pretty good. And you throw the football well, and you don't put yourself out there to almost die at every play. He looked really good. He threw 4 touchdowns. He threw 1 to McLaurin, and then he threw 2 to Dotson. Dotson is a sneaky start if you play DFS, actually. Dotson is a guy, if you're just looking for touchdown upside, go Dotson. Absolutely go Dotson. Just to potentially get that, double or that touchdown upside. And they're playing the Lions. That's an absolute start. If you're looking for a streamer, I mean, Wentz is a guy who I'd stream. I can't believe those words just came out of my mouth, but I said it. I can't take them back now. I'm not playing Goff, obviously. You're not, if you would do that, what are you doing? What are you doing? You must be in, who hurt you? Who hurt you? Show me on the chart where the bad man hurt you. I just don't want any part of Goff. But what I do want is DeAndre Swift. I know he has a hurt ankle, and he's been losing carries in the goal line to Jamal Williams. That's going to happen. You're going to lose stuff to him. But even with that, Swift still dominated. They just need to throw him the football more, which is fine. Gibson is a must-start as well. Gibson, until Brian Robinson comes back. They may just say Gibson is the starter until he decides to start fumbling like crazy again. They could just do that. I don't feel like Gibson is worthy to be not started by players yet, and not worthy to be lose his starting job in IRL. He's not, especially when you lead the team in receptions, you lead the team in rushing yards. That's what Riviera should have did all last year. He's a converted wide receiver turned to running back. This is what these Memphis running backs do when they come out. This is what they do. Just use them that way. Just use them that way, please. This is very good to see. It's very good to see, even with J.D. McKissick there. Just give me a kiss, J.D. McKissick there, who was taking stuff away. He still got targets. And who knows, Wentz may be the guy to actually throw it to Gibson and give him consistency. And then on the wide receiver side for both teams, Terry McLaurin is interesting. He's a start. Dotson and DFS, I said. And Amon-Ra is the only receiver I'm willing to play. But keep an eye on DJ Chark. Just keep an eye on DJ Chark because he looked good in game 1. He caught a touchdown, and he looked very interesting in that game as well. But I think the Lions win this football game. Late. I think it's going to come down to a field goal and or a late touchdown, and I think Detroit's going to get back on the winning side here. Moving on to the Buccaneers and the New Orleans Saints. Oh, that was a rough game week 1, wasn't it, Tampa? Sure was. Brady looked like a 45-year-old man playing football. Honestly, Brady is still worthy to be started, but against New Orleans defense, I mean, I know Marcus Mariota just ran all over him, but I need to see Brady. I need to see old Brady. I need to see Brady being Brady, not 45-year-old Brady. And playing bad, and with his offense, surprise, surprise, can't do too much. And they lost Donovan Smith. I'm almost pretty sure Donovan Smith is hurt as well. Yeah, Donovan Smith is hurt. And, well, Tristan Wirfs is questionable. So, if they get Wirfs back, that could help. But if they don't have both Donovan Smith and Wirfs, it's going to be a long day for Tom Brady. It's going to be a long day for Brady. On the other side, Winston is my quarterback start here. I think that quarterback-wise, he could be a very sneaky quarterback to play this week as well. Going into Tampa, or just facing Tampa, Jameis Winston. Looked good. He looked good. Michael Thomas is back now. He distributed the football around. Olave caught a touchdown. Looked very good. Dalton came in, I think, for a little bit in this game as well. So, all in all, Winston is worthy of a start. The running backs, you're starting Kamara, you're starting Fournette. There's really not much else to say. Fournette doesn't start. Rachaad White is interesting if Leonard Fournette doesn't start, actually. The tight ends, not starting either one. I'm sorry. I know Taysom Hill had a carry for a touchdown and it was a long run, but if he didn't give you that, he gave you jack squat. So he's not worthy of a pickup. He's not worthy of a start. He's not even their starting tight end. He's just a gimmick player. So, and on the receiver side, listen, Tampa Bay's wide receivers are shambles right now. Julio did practice, and Mike Evans did practice, so they'll both most likely play. So, and if they play, you're playing Mike Evans, obviously. Julio, if Julio plays, you're playing Julio. He looked really good. with Brady. Actually, with reports, he's looked the fastest he's ever looked out of camp. They said he was the fastest guy on receivers in the entire receiving corps. And then on the New Orleans side, Landry is a definite start. Like Landry in PPR formats, I mean, look at the numbers there. 7 catches, 114 yards. Ooh, that's good. He is playing for his hometown team. He's looking good. Michael Thomas is all the way back as well. I feel like Michael Thomas is going to have a really good game as well. And then Olave, not enough to start Olave yet. Need to see more out of Olave. Moving on to the Panthers and Giants. Oh, by the way, I didn't even pick a winner for that game. The Saints. The Saints. They're going to win that game. Carolina Panthers facing the 1-0. Yeah, that's right. The 1-0 Giants. Which, let me just say, that game, Brian Daboll, you got some cojones. You got some balls down there. Going for 2 for the win. Not just looking to tie, but going for the win. That's impressive, my guy. That's impressive. Moving on to this game. Carolina versus the Giants. Carolina, I mean, Baker looked terrible. I'm sorry. Baker, it's good to see Baker and a starting job, but it's I'm not starting Baker. You're not starting Daniel Jones, obviously. The running backs, you drafted McCaffrey early, you're playing McCaffrey. Barkley is a must-start. Barkley's my running back start of the week this week against Carolina. Look at what happened last week. Not only did Chubb run for over 160 yards, but Kareem Hunt scored several touchdowns. Guess what that means? Barkley's going to dominate again. Barkley's going to dominate this Carolina rush defense, which is not good last year, and it's clearly not good again. And on the receiver side, I'm not starting anybody. I'm not starting anybody. I know, Robbie Anderson had 5 catches for 100 yards. He's in a touchdown. He's worth looking at and just keeping your eye on him. Just keeping your eye on Robbie Anderson. See if he can keep doing that. But DJ Moore, again, I don't know why this guy is drafted so high every single year. He has the talent, but they don't throw him the stinking football. He had 8 points last week. I don't think he's going to duplicate that. And then the Giants don't have any receivers that are any good. I know Sterling Shepard is good, but when your top receiver led your team with 2 catches for 71 yards and a score, that's not good. Kenny Golladay isn't even worthy of even being looked at anymore. Kadarius Toney is injured all the stinking time, but he's their best receiver, and they gave him 2 plays and then took him off the field. And when he had the ball in his hand, looked freaking amazing, by the way. And now we have this. So I'm not starting anybody. A winner in this game, though, I'm going to have to go Carolina. I think Carolina wins this game. I don't think the Giants are going to wow anybody. I really don't see that happening. Patriots and Steelers. Listen, Steelers, I mean, I know the Patriots could have a shot. But the Patriots' offense looked terrible. Joe Judge and Matt Patricia being the coordinators does not work. You cannot have 2 crappy coordinators as your offense coordinator. You cannot. It does not work that way. It is not great. And Pittsburgh's defense, losing TJ Watt, I mean, he's not out for the year, which is good to see. But it's going to be interesting because New England may be able to move the football a little bit with the run game with no TJ Watt there. And I believe, yeah, that's it. It was just TJ Watt out. So on this side, with the Pittsburgh Steelers, not starting either of the quarterbacks, by the way. But the running backs, if Najee plays, you're playing Najee. On the running back side for New England, Damian Harris, Ramondre Stevenson. I'm not starting either one. I can't start them. Not with putting up barely anything, but with no TJ Watt, that's kind of interesting to do. I think Ramondre is the higher one I'd be willing to start than Damian Harris. On the receiving side for the New England Patriots, Jacoby Myers is the only one I'm kind of looking at, but you're not starting him. You're not starting any of their receivers. And you're starting Deontay, that's obvious. Claypool, you can't really start Claypool. I mean, I know they used him a lot in the running game, but I don't. As a wide receiver 1 or 2, you're not starting them in your lineup based on that unless you're really desperate. Pickens, I haven't seen enough from him. Don't want him right now. Just keeping my eye on him. And then the Muth is loose. He's going to be so amazing. The Muth. He is Mitchell Trubisky's favorite guy, 100%. Trubisky loved looking at the tight ends. Don't clip that. Don't clip that. As I say that, the words came out of my mouth. He's my tight end start of the week. Pat Freiermuth. The Muth is going to be Luth, and he's going to be Luthen all over the New England Patriots. I think he's scoring a touchdown in this game. I really do. I think the Muth is going to score a touchdown in this game. Steelers win in a close one. Colts and Jaguars in this game. The Colts will get back on track. The Colts will win this game. This is an obvious. I know that Frank Wright has not been able to beat Jacksonville since he's got there, but I think that they're going to be so upset at what happened last year, how their season ended. They're going to redeem themselves. The quarterback side, not starting Trevor Lawrence. Matt Ryan's sneaky, but he did not look that great. So if he plays well, he's worthy of a stashing the bottom of your lineup. Jonathan Taylor, of course, you're starting him. James Robinson, of course, you're starting him. He looked good. Achilles injuries, they normally knock down running backs, and they don't look great after the Achilles injury. Tell that to James Robinson. He doesn't give a care. Travis Etienne is, if you drafted him, you're starting him, but I'm not willing to start him if I have better options because I just need to see more. And James Robinson looks like he's back and is going to get more of the carries, but he will be splitting time with Etienne, so he's still worthy of flex consideration. And then if Pittman plays, you're playing Pittman. If Kirk plays, you play Kirk. Obviously, you can't not play Kirk after what he did last week. And the tight ends, not playing any tight ends in this game. I think Indy wins in this game and gets back on track. Dolphins, Ravens. This is a really good game. 1-0 against 1-0. This is going to be probably the most entertaining game of the week, I feel. But Lamar, you're playing Lamar. Tua, I don't want to play Tua. The running backs, if J.K. Dobbins is back, you're playing J.K. Dobbins, obviously. If not, I'm not playing any other running backs. Chase Edmonds isn't worthy of a start just yet. I need to see him give him more volume. He looked good. He looked decent, but he's not getting enough yet. Obviously, you're starting Tyreek Hill. I love Rashad Bateman this week. I think Bateman is going to have a good game here. And then, Waddle obviously is worthy of a start as well. But I just need to see a little more volume. He's more flex than anything. And the tight ends, don't start Gesicki. Please don't. He's not worthy. He shouldn't even be worthy of being on your team. And then Mark Andrews, of course, you're starting the number 1 tight end. So in this game, who am I choosing to win? I think that Baltimore will win out. This week. And I think, Miami, it's going to be a really good game, but I think Baltimore is going to win it out late. Moving on to the Falcons and the Rams here. Rams are winning this game. They're going to bounce back easily. Mariota was actually really good last week, by the way. He ran for 72 yards, and they were designed runs. That looked really good. So, but against the Rams defense, not starting him. Stafford, he's going to bounce back. It's Atlanta. They were winning and by like 20 points and still lost. You're starting Stafford. Cordero Patterson, he's a must-start, as definitely after what he did last week. The volume's there, the carries are there, the yards are there, and he's their star on their offense. Darrell Henderson's a start. I'm not starting Cam Akers after what he did last week, and if you are, why would you do that to yourself? Drake London's interesting. He's worthy of being looked at. If I see a little more, he's worthy of a pickup. He really, really is. And then, of course, on that side, it's Kyle Pitts, and that's pretty much it. On the Rams side, Cooper Kupp, obviously, that's a no-brainer. Allen Robinson. Now, I know what you're thinking. Allen Robinson, is he deserving of a start, Batbran? Is he deserving of a start after only catching one pass last week? I'm here to tell you he is. I'm here to tell you he is. They're going to give him the ball more, and I feel like it's Atlanta. If he doesn't put up a good matchup this week, you're free to drop him or put him on your bench because no one's going to want him. And, no one's going to want him at that point. Tyler Higbee for the Rams. You could do better. You could do better. He did look good. Last week he had volume. He had several targets. I believe he is worthy of start if you're really desperate at the tight end position. But you could do better. That's all I'm going to say about that. Seahawks and the 49ers. It looks like it's going to be another rain game for the Niners in Seattle. I think San Fran does bounce back and win this game. I do. But it's going to be a very tough game. Trey Lance, you can't start either quarterback. Why would you do that? You need to see more from Lance. But the running backs are interesting. Rashad Penny looked really good with the carries he was given. Now, Ken Walker is back, and he's going to get some looks from what Pete Carroll said he is going to play. So he will probably take away a little bit from Rashad Penny, but I'm still starting Rashad Penny. On the running back side, Elijah Mitchell is out for a while, so it looks like it's going to be my name is Jeff Wilson, and the rookies, Jordan Mason and stuff like that. That's worth keeping an eye on. It really is, and I think Jeff Wilson is worthy of a running back start for sure. And then on the wide receiver side, obviously, you're starting Debo. You're I guess if you draft DK, you're starting DK. But I'm not starting Tyler Lockett, and I'm not starting Brandon Ayuk unless I'm really desperate. And if Kittle plays, from what I hear, Kittle's a game-time decision. Again, we can't, this is the thing. With Kittle, if he plays, he gives you week-winning weeks. But if he doesn't, you're left holding a bag that you don't want. And it sucks because Kittle's so good, but he gets injured so often. And it just stinks. And I'm not playing Noah Fant or Will Disley or any of the other tight ends for Seattle. So, yeah, I'm not doing that. I don't want to hurt myself. I literally don't want to do that. Texans, Broncos, and get ready for this because this is my quarterback and wide receiver start of the week in Cortland Sutton and Russell Wilson. Mr. Unlimited is going to literally dominate Houston. Matt Ryan did what he did, and he sucked. So I think they will bounce back. I think it was just very stressful on Russell Wilson. I mean, he didn't really do bad. He really didn't do bad. He threw up 340 yards and a score, which is not bad. It's just the team was didn't really play too well to the strengths, and the end of that game was kind of meh because you had 3 timeouts. You could have called a timeout and didn't. I think they'll fix that this week. Davis Mills, no. No, just no. Unless you're really, really desperate. The running backs, you're not playing Rex Burkhead, you're not playing Damian Pierce. The running backs you can play are both Melvin Gordon and Javonte Williams. I'm willing to play both of them. Melvin Gordon, more of a flex consideration if you're desperate, and if you need, and Javonte Williams as a definite start that you're playing. And then Brandon Cooks, volume-wise in PPR leagues, even when they stink, he's good. And Jerry Jeudy and Courtland Sutton is my wide receiver starts of the week. Russell Wilson looked for Sutton a lot. So I feel like both of them are going to have good targets and are going to dominate in this game. I'm starting both. The tight ends, you're not playing Alberto. And do not go and chase 2 touchdowns from O.J. Howard. Don't do it. He had 2 catches. 2. And I know that's the 2 touchdowns you're hoping, but you're going to be looking at a 0 if he doesn't throw up the 2 touchdowns, okay? Just don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. Cardinals and Raiders. We're almost done here. We got 3 more games, and then I'll wrap up. We're going over an hour already. My quarterback start of the week, Derek Carr. Derek Carr is my quarterback start of the week. Very easy matchup here. The Raiders are winning this game. They're going to bounce back and win. Derek Carr is going to put up some really good numbers against the terrible Arizona secondary. That Arizona defense looked terrible. They're really missing pass rush. And Kyler, you're starting Kyler. You have to start Kyler. Derek Carr is a must start at this point, especially this week. Conner, you're playing James Conner if you have him. The running backs for Vegas. I think you have to play Josh Jacobs at this point, but I don't want to hurt myself with that if I have better options. It's just not worth it. It's not. On the receiving side for the Cardinals, Hollywood Brown is a start. If you're in desperation and you're like in a deeper league, the Dortch is worth your time as well. And Zach Ertz looks like he's going to be healthy and play. So Ertz is also worthy of a start. And on the Vegas side, it's really just Devontae Adams and Darren Waller, obviously, because it's Darren Waller. But that's really all for that game. I think the Raiders are winning that. That's a definite, easy. And the Bills are winning against the Tennessee Titans. The sorry Titans. I know last year you surprised everyone and beat them. It's not happening this year. It's just not. In this game, the only quarterback I'm starting is Josh Allen. You're not starting Tannehill against Buffalo. You're not starting any of his wide receivers. You're starting Derrick Henry, and that's pretty much it. On the running back side for Buffalo, Devin Singletary is possibly an option for a flex if you're desperate, but I'm not playing any of their running backs. And Stephon Diggs and Gabe Davis. Gabe Davis is another wide receiver start of the week for me this week. I'm playing Gabe Davis. He's going to have multiple touchdowns in this game. Tennessee's secondary did not look good. And that's against the Giants' terrible wide receiving corps. Okay? That's saying some things. Gabe Davis and the tight ends, you're not playing Hooper, and I just need to see more from Knox. I really do. It's just... And by the way, just randomly saying this, okay, why not in week 1 NFL are you doing 2 Monday Night Football games in week 1? You could have done that in week 1. Instead, let's do that in week 2 and have them both on the same time. What? Well, I understand Philly, Minnesota, they're both from the Eastern time zone. You can't really do too much about that. And it's in Philly. This is a very, very good game. I think this is going to be the game of the week for fantasy. I really do. You're starting Cousins. You're starting Hurts. You're starting Dalvin Cook. Miles Sanders is a flex play. Jefferson's being played for sure. Adam Thielen is a possibility to even play at a wide receiver too. A.J. Brown is a play. I'm not starting Devontae Smith, obviously. But Dallas Goedert is a play, and Irv Smith isn't yet. Like, this is going to be such a good game for fantasy, and I got to pick a winner. I got to pick a winner. I think that also my quarterback start of the week, it's 100% Kirk Cousins and Jalen Hurts. It's both of these quarterbacks in this matchup, and they're going to put up so many good numbers. So many good numbers here. The winner in this game, I think Kirk Cousins has not won a primetime game in his career. It's Philly. It's Philly. I'm sorry. I got to go against you, Kirk Cousins, when it comes to primetime games, history, and all that stuff. You don't do well against that. So, all right. Well, I have gone on long enough. My starts and all that. I will be back next week with a brand new episode for you guys. Thank you all so much for watching. If you did enjoy, feel free, like the video, subscribe, and also feel free to share this video with all your friends, fantasy football community, anything. We really appreciate it. We want this community to grow. And as always, stay awesome, my fantasy football community.